Ready? No phones. I need everybody to lock in, please. Um,
What you doing on here?
Just wrapping it up.
so our question is, when should you walk away, or when should you like take a stance and fight for something? What scenario are you referring to? Because this can relate to relationships, this can relate to sports, accusations. It could be anything. So, what scenario are you talking about?
Let's say you're like a slick comment. Should you should you just I don't know how to explain it. Cause me, I've been in a state like me. I don't really take anything. I just let it go.
Mhm.
Walk on. Like the aggression's building up. If you know what I mean.
Okay.
And it's about to all come out. It's gonna come out at once.
Okay. I feel what you're saying. You understand what he's saying? So you're saying you haven't been one to like retaliate, to respond, to let it get to you like that. You normally just ignore and brush it off, but you say it's all building up and you're gonna snap sometime soon. So your question is what?
How do we like get rid of like that pent up energy?
Release it. But why do you let it get to that point though? Why do we let it get to that point?
And why do we let it get to that point?
Yeah, especially as men, because we do that. We're guilty. Of
I do that.
We do that. We do that.
Why you letting you get to that point?
Well, why let it get to where it built up?
Cash. See who's on the phone.
I guess I don't know how to like get rid of it.
So you ever heard the expression "happy wife, happy life"? Do you believe in that?
No.
Why?
Why? Your happiness shouldn't depend on somebody else.
Hmm?
Your happiness shouldn't depend on anybody else but yourself.
Do anybody believe in that? Don't believe in that?
I believe a happy spouse, happy house.
Yeah. Not happy wife, happy life. Because a lot of people believe this: your wife, or she say is right, which most times they do end up being happy. But doesn't mean you need to put your feelings on the back burner for anybody else. No, that's toxic.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't voice your opinion and they can, there's a big problem with that. So you walk around built up everything. So when this stuff finally do come out, it can be dangerous to you or anybody else. You can hurt somebody physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, whatever. So where does pent up anger have to stay balled up inside for? You're allowed to say whatever you want, but how you say it is another thing.
Mm-hmm.
That goes back to his question he asked at the beginning. Just saying.
I think it's good that you brought it up too. I think at this point you're gonna have to start talking about it more, and whether that's in private with one of us or both of us or someone that you can trust, talk about the situation, because if you can foresee and foretell that okay, this is gonna happen, this is coming, you gotta start digging. And then if you feel like it's really something that's consuming you, we laugh at this in our community a lot, but I would maybe try to talk to like a counselor or somebody, because if it's something that you really feel like is on the inside, I would try to talk to a professional about it before it gets to that point where you explode. I think the good thing is though that you are aware of it. So you have the awareness, right? It's not like you don't know and then it's just gonna happen. That's a positive. But at this point, we have to do something to prevent that from happening. And your feelings are valid, right? You feel the way you feel, but it's not healthy to just keep all that in. I do that sometimes. As opposed to being confrontational, we think confrontation is a bad thing. Confrontation is not a negative thing all the time. It's just confronting whatever the issue or the problem is. It doesn't have to be negative though. If I have an issue with Mr. Price or he has one with me, he can call me up and say, hey, Mr. Nate, let's talk man to man. I need to talk to you about so-and-so. I think you could have did this better. You should have said this. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes we do that.
Right.
But we don't like talks like that. We do chat about something.
Yeah. So I think that should be your next step.
You know, when I was like, how old are you?
17.
So when I was like your age, with 15 to 17, I say 14 to 17, I used to have really bad anger issues. I used to walk around with anger.
Mm-hmm.
You talk to me, I'd be just mean bugging you. Now, as an adult, I learned not to do that. But now I'm trying to teach myself a different way again. Because I learned not to let people walk over me and make me feel like I just got to belittle myself and, hold stuff in. I learned not to do that anymore. But now I have another problem. So I learned how to release it, right? But remember I said how you say it is another thing?
That's right.
So sometimes, like, when my family talk to me, like my sisters are German. Can you look this up? And I'd be looking like, why if I gotta look this up? How come you can't do it? So I have to learn not to do that. Because it's from years of me being quiet and leaving stuff inside. So I can't just be like, the F you want. I be doing that. And I have to sometimes catch myself like, hold up. This is actually a simple question. It's unnecessary. But I'm guilty of that. You don't want to do that.
No, you don't.
You want to make people think though, but you don't want to be snapping though and cussing people out, right? Don't get to that point. You know what I'm saying? Lance, you get what I'm saying? I know you get what I'm saying, Mr. Nate.
I understand what you're saying, sir. So, gentlemen, we are going to talk about transitioning from that. That's actually a good question that you brought up. Knowing when to kind of take your stance, when to kind of brush things off, or when to let it go. Is anybody familiar with Michael Irvin? Dallas Cowboys, 90s. Remember they had Emmett Till, Troy Aikman, Michael Irvin. It's a little bit before y'all's time. Emmett Smith.
You said
What did I say? Emmett Till? Yeah. Emmett Smith. But they were Super Bowl champions, really good era.
Yeah. That's before
right?
time too.
Michael Irvin was a receiver. So, long story short, something recently has happened with my man Michael where he has been accused of sexually assaulting a worker at an employee at the Marriott. So, the Super Bowl was in where? Y'all remember where was it set?
Nevada.
No.
Was it
Weren't they in Phoenix?
I don't know. I forgot.
I thought that was in Phoenix, Arizona.
I forgot.
Maybe I don't know where that was at, but he was at the Marriott, and so this lady makes this accusation and says that Michael Irvin sexually assaulted me, and immediately, and I think he was literally like, because he does a lot of stuff with ESPN. He's an analyst, talks about sports. Just to kind of refresh your memory, let me show you guys who Michael Irvin is. Who Michael Irvin is. He's really animated. He loves his Dallas Cowboys. This is from 4 years ago. This is Michael Irvin on First Take with Stephen A. Smith debating. Are you all familiar with Brian Banks? There's a movie about Brian Banks.
It was a good movie.
Falsely accused of raping a woman.
Something more than insurance for auto. Home.
Randy.
This is Michael Irvin.
Count how many championship trophies lays with those teams. And I'm
Yes.
telling you right
The man on the screen is Michael Irvin.
I'm right up there with the Patriots and the Steelers. So all these other teams you're talking about, they don't have this. No, we're talking about number of champions. Okay. But still up there right now.
I asked you a question.
So, well, when you go to history, let's go into history. Don't just go to your history. Let's go to their history.
I was this was wrestling the biggest favorite.
If you're going to go back there, we can go back there. Or we can stay right here.
I'm going back there.
So that's Michael Irvin. He's on different networks. He's an analyst now, retired football player, right? So my man has been accused of sexually assaulting this lady. I was so interested in this. So what I did the other day, I watched the full video of the interaction at the Marriott Hotel. And I'm going to play it for you guys. But check this out. Because of that accusation, ESPN literally stripped my man from all of his duties off rip. So he's in studio. He gets a call. Michael, we need you to leave ASAP. Because of sexual assault allegations against you at the Marriott Hotel. And Mike talks about it. I'm like, what? He's like, who did I sexually assault? What are you talking about? What happened? But that one accusation, that one allegation can shift everything. So we're going to watch this video for you all to see. I watched the video of his attorney breaking this thing down. Just watch the video and let me know if you all see anything inappropriate. Or I wonder, should I find the one of the attorney breaking it down?
Yeah, this one's good.
This one?
Yeah.
Can we turn these lights on?
Let me turn my lamp on.
Yeah, please. So you'll see Mike come up here, but just let me know if you see anything inappropriate.
Got him moving.
Let me see. Mike's going to start talking to somebody over here. I think this is the person who alleged, who said that he sexually assaulted me. This person right here. That's Mike. Right there. That's Mike talking to the accuser, the alleged victim. And behind Mike on the other side of that wall is her boss, who looks like he's very impatient. He can see exactly what's going on. Have y'all seen anything foul yet? And Mike said that they were talking about football and
He just touched it, but I don't know.
Look like you're shaking hand.
looks like they're shaking hands again, right? Looks pleasant.
How long is this?
You touch the screen and see, I think it's 4 minutes. So, with my eyes, I didn't see anything inappropriate.
But what our ears don't know.
And so what happened, because this is just, and it looks like Mike is leaving, correct? And so what happened is there are now people defending. So they are called what? Well, I mean, like people who are speaking up saying,
Witness?
what'd you say?
Witness.
Right. So there's people, witnesses saying, no, this didn't happen. I can make a statement. I can get on the stand. Whatever needs to happen to vouch for Mike. However, I want you guys to listen to this. Imagine if we did not have this video footage. And that one accusation of this man asked me to come give him oral sex, or this man touched my breast, or this man slapped my butt. If this woman would have did that and we didn't have this camera, and maybe other people weren't around Mike to actually say, you know what, that's not even what happened, because the lawyer who's defending him, he broke this whole thing down. I sat there and watched it. He said, this is this person, this is this person coming this way, this, da, da, da. He broke the whole thing down. So we see the interaction. And this is the interaction that she is saying that he sexually assaulted her on. But what do you guys think would have happened? My man Mike, who I'm sure has millions and millions of dollars, was accused with nothing but his word versus her word. What do you all think would be going on? Because in today's times, you're guilty until proven innocent, for real, especially with social media, right? Like, you get blasted, and he has a history of being a party animal. I will say that. Back in the 90s and all them days when they was winning,
He was.
you know, Mike, I think he had a drug problem, and all kinds of stuff, but they were winning.
With that fanboy, they say.
Mm-hmm. So what do you all think would be the narrative right now? Because this tape wouldn't have came out, I don't know. Because they told my man, they said, hey, you need to stop working immediately because we don't want you to attach your name to our brand, ESPN. So how do y'all think this thing will be playing out right now? What else?
Mine. And then a former NFL star, sexually harassed.
Keep them coming, keep them coming. What else? Do y'all think that his skin color has a part to do with it, maybe?
Yes.
Do you think there's a stigma or a like, what would you call it? Something that's attached with being like a football player or ex-football player? What would that be? Okay, Rich, what else?
You know what's funny?
Go
This
ahead.
happens more often than not to black men. White men it do happen to them, but more so black men.
Mm-hmm. Everybody stand up real quick. Just stand up. Stand up.
Lads, get up.
Mr. Price, do you know anyone personally who something like this has happened to? Because I do.
Oh, I do too.
You do too?
Mm-hmm.
Do any of us care to share? Go ahead.
I don't know if I can share, but
Okay.
I won't say anything. My friend back at my old school, he gave a girl a hug, like she consented to the hug, everything. And then later on, what is it? She went like, I don't know what happened, but what was said was that, what is it? He sexually assaulted her because he had an erection after the hug.
I mean, did it get like, you know, public attention? Did he get?
Yeah, he got suspended and didn't get to play in the game. I was about to take him to state and they lost.
And so the bigger picture, and I wanted to bring this up, the bigger picture and the bigger point is, listen, you guys, we can have an honest conversation here. You guys are men, and you guys are young men. You're growing into your manhood. Y'all gonna be dating. I would like for y'all to wait till y'all get married to have sex, but I don't know if y'all gonna do that.
Some haven't.
Some are sexually active, some haven't. I understand that, but y'all gonna have to be careful because all it takes is one accusation for you to be labeled a pedophile, because y'all know that all of that stuff sticks with you. Like if someone underage was to say that you did something to them, that stuff sticks with you. Or if you're accused of raping somebody, that stuff sticks with you. There's a story that we might dive into about Brian Banks. There's a movie, Brian Banks, on his way to probably becoming like an NFL star. He has sex with this girl, consensually, at the school.
Some white girl.
And she then turns around and says that, she said that he raped her and kidnapped her, didn't she?
Yep.
And so he didn't he like take a plea deal or something?
Yeah, he did.
And she was awarded, didn't she get like a lot of money?
Yeah, millions.
Millions. But it later comes out that the woman was lying. She admitted that she was lying. She admitted that she was lying. But all it takes is that one accusation, because I think, this is my opinion, and Mr. Price, you can chime in on this too. I think that, and we're just talking about your heterosexual relationships, male, female, women get the benefit of the doubt majority of the time.
Yep, they do. That's why even me, like Mr. Nate's married. I'm not married at all. Dating. Ain't hoeing. I mean, I ain't hoeing. I'm dating. I ain't having sex with nobody.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm very, very careful about who I let inside my space. I am not talking about just my home. I'm talking about who's getting to know my body, which ties into that word soul ties as well. I'm very careful about who's getting to know me mentally, who has access to wherever I work at and everything. Because at any point in time, you think somebody's cool, they can switch up on you.
That's it.
And you have to be careful. You need to ask a bunch of questions before you lay down and sleep with somebody, when you're dating somebody, talking to somebody. I tell you all the time in this building, stop touching each other for a reason.
Real talk.
Stop touching each other, whether it's boy, boy, girl, girl, boy, girl. Don't touch each other. Don't do it. I don't care about damping each other up. Keep your hands off each other. There's one student in this whole building I will ever walk up to and hug. She's like my kid, but guess what? Even with her. Now, limit yourself. Don't give people something to talk about. So if y'all see you around girls, and then another girl come up and say you touched her, well, they already see you around girls, so they're like, maybe. They had a movie back in the 90s, it was on Lifetime. I like Lifetime movies, the old
Me too.
movies. They called For My Daughter's Honor. The girl was like 14, she was a grown woman, thankfully, in her life at the time. But she was 14, and the coach started liking her, and they started messing around.
This
And
is
she
a
didn't
male
know any
coach? A male coach?
Male coach. Male white coach, male white, and female white student. She didn't really think nothing of it. Until people started looking at her crazy, and she started feeling dirty and guilty. And then her mom started digging into it. It was like, well, the coach is messing with my kid.
Meaning never having sex?
Yeah. So, and then look, you gotta think back in the 90s, technology was advanced for its time, but it's not advanced like it is now. So all you had to go off was words.
Yep.
And people looking around. Now, thankfully, that's one of the good things about technology nowadays. Cameras cover your butt.
That's right.
I used to work at a place called Maryhaven, an adolescent department with troubled teens. You go in a child's room and there's no camera in the room, they can't fit a camera in the room. You go in there, you put yourself at risk. If I go inside your room and you over there trying to fight somebody, I need to have somebody come in there with me and somebody else stand by the door. Because you go in there by yourself, yeah, they act like they're fighting, and all of a sudden you hear something different. And kids say they want to talk to you, hey, let's talk out here. Like that girl Denny when she was in here. Me and Denny get along great. But when Denny, I make her sit right over there. That door is cracked, and I'm over here. You ain't sitting over here.
And imagine if she was, hypothetically, like this. The door is cracked. Someone walks by, or she's leaning over. Someone walks by and says, oh, I think Mr. Price is in there touching Danny, or he's in there kissing her, right? And just because of that accusation, that thing spreads through the school, gets to Dr. McCrory. Now you got law enforcement saying, excuse me, sir, I need to talk to you. But it's serious, and we want you guys to really be aware of this because this stuff happens.
And like I said, it happens mostly to black men.
Yes.
And most of the accusers, I hate to say, are white women.
I know a guy who was on his way to Ohio State from my high school, star football player. He probably would be in the NFL right now. This white girl, and I don't have anything against white people, I love all, but she was white, said that he raped her, threw everything off. He was never able to recover athletically, and I don't, but that, think about how much is missed and how much you miss out on.
I'll tell you one thing too, whether it's true or not, it can haunt you.
Yeah.
Because you had to go through that. So you find out, yeah, you know it wasn't true, but they deemed it was, what's the word, unsubstantiated. There's no evidence, they have no proof, nothing. It still haunts you that you had to go through that mess.
Raise your hand if you're sexually active right now.
Be honest. They ain't gonna judge you.
Raise your hand if you've had sex before.
I guess we can raise our hand too. I raise my foot.
Okay.
How many of y'all use protection? How many of y'all use protection?
Condom?
Mine's real.
He said it ripped. Were you being serious?
No.
No. We're being serious right now. We're not joking.
We're being serious. We're being serious.
How many of y'all use protection?
We ain't gonna judge
Protection ain't a bad thing.
you. Use it.
No, you use it, but not all the
I
time.
wouldn't raise my hand up, but I'm gonna be honest, a lot of times I didn't. So if people ask me how I have kids, I'm like, I don't know.
Are you guys careful with who you are intimate with? Are you careful with who you have sex with? Keep it real. I'm not gonna judge you. I just want you guys to be honest. No, not really.
She bad, she bad.
Okay.
Maybe she got AIDS, she still bad.
No, I make sure like to a certain extent, like I always say, like if she too pretty,
That's
I'm
not
like,
funny.
I'm asking questions. Like I always ask questions.
Hey, it's just something to think about. She got AIDS, you still gonna hit?
All right. Repeat after me. Smart decisions.
Smart decisions.
I have to make.
I have to make.
I will not put myself
Put myself
in situations
in situations
where I can get wrapped up.
where I can get wrapped up.
All right, gentlemen.
Caught up.
And have a child.
Caught up, maybe the better word. Next week, we are planning our trip. Make sure you're handling your business, gentlemen. We are
No more
planning our
write-ups.
trip.
Yes, sir.
More rips.
We're looking at April 19th for the trip. We're looking at April 19th. Thomas, you good? All right. I understand.